In 2014, my friend was a freshman in college. Before the school year started, she fell ill. By the time she arrived at school, all the nearby housing was already rented out. With no other options, she ended up living in a small apartment 10 miles away from the campus in a nearby town. The apartment building, which only had 6 floors and was probably 70 to 80 years old, was managed by a very kind-looking African-American lady in her 50s. Initially, the lady wanted to place her on the 2nd floor, closer to her own apartment for safety, but my friend, being quite rebellious at the time, preferred not to live close to the manager, so she chose a room on the 6th floor, the furthest one down the hallway. At first, it was great as she had a lot of freedom and wasn't bothered by anyone, allowing her to stay up late. However, every night after she fell asleep, she would be woken up by an itchy face, which she would scratch vigorously before rolling over and going back to sleep. After living there for about half a month, her menstrual period started. As a girl who loved cold foods from a young age, she always experienced severe stomach pain during her periods, and the first day was always the worst. That night, she tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep, and kept running to the bathroom. Around 11 p.m., after using the bathroom and feeling a bit better, she washed her hands and was ready to head back to her room. The entire apartment usually turned off the lights at 10 p.m. due to its old, unmaintained state, but the bathroom light was supposed to stay on. However, since my friend was the only one living on the 6th floor, the bathroom light was broken and hadn't been fixed. Moonlight streaming through the window provided some visibility. As she turned to leave the bathroom, she heard the sound of water dripping from the faucet. Thinking she hadn't turned it off properly, she went back and tightened it. After turning to leave again, she heard the water dripping once more just after a few steps. Puzzled, she turned back and tightened the faucet with all her might. But just as she reached the bathroom door, the faucet suddenly burst open with a loud noise, as if it had been turned to its maximum setting. Thinking she might have broken it, she went back again. This time, she found it odd that the faucet she had tightened so firmly was now completely loose. She thought maybe the threads had worn out, so she tried turning the tap handle again. As she was turning it, she suddenly felt an itch on her exposed neck, similar to when she was sleeping. So, with one hand, she scratched her neck vigorously while with the other, she managed to tighten the faucet properly again. Clearly, the faucet wasn't broken, as it no longer leaked. Annoyed, she cursed under her breath and turned to leave.
Just outside the bathroom, facing the long corridor on the 6th floor, she saw a girl standing in front of her room, her back to her. The girl had 2 long braided pigtails. My friend, puzzled, glanced at her and curiously asked, "Hello, which room are you from? Why aren't you asleep yet?" The person didn't respond or move. My friend, being quite straightforward, walked up and tapped the person's shoulder, asking again, "Which room are you from? Why are you standing here so late at night?" The person still didn't react. Frustrated, my friend thought, "Why are you standing at my room door and ignoring me? What's the meaning of this?" She then moved to face the girl to see what she looked like and if she recognized her. But with that one look, she would never forget what she saw for the rest of her life. The girl's face was also the back of her head, with 2 long braided pigtails. My friend screamed and ran straight to the apartment manager's room on the 2nd floor, her flip-flops breaking in her haste.
After waking the apartment manager and incoherently explaining her encounter, the old lady calmly comforted her, saying she must have been seeing things and advised her to try and get some sleep. My friend had no choice but to lie down and squeeze in with the old lady, spending a sleepless night. The more she thought about it, the more unsettled she felt. The next day, she obediently moved next to the old lady's apartment and stayed there for the semester, later moving to a more populated new apartment. However, she never dared to go to the bathroom alone at night again.